Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So my last video was 10 things that I think you need for a dorm. So if you haven't seen that one yet, I'll put it up in the cards as well as the description down below. But by the title, you can tell that this one is going to be 10 things you don't need for your dorm. And like I did in my last video, I'm going to do a disclaimer again and just say everyone's different, everyone's preferences are different, everyone's needs/wants are different. So if I have something on my list that you desperately want or need for college, by all means, go for it, do it. This is really just a list for those kind of struggling to really pick and choose what they need or don't need. So yeah, if you guys are interested, just keep on watching. So first, something I didn't include on this list was going to be decor, because again, everyone's different, especially with decor is such a personal thing. I'm not going to sit here and tell you what kind of decor you do and don't need. The only thing I will tell you is don't bring a lot, because your dorm is not as big as you think it is, and you're gonna have to split it with your roommate, so you're really not gonna have a lot of room to really decorate. And I think having a dorm that's kind of, you know, small, you don't really need all of that stuff because it's just gonna make it look cluttered and messy. So personally, what I like to do, I don't know if you probably can see it in the back up here on my wall, is a painting that I sort of came up with by taking like things associated with that school and putting it on one and making like basically a collage, if that makes sense. But I painted that, and I actually sell them over on my Instagram. If you guys are interested, you can go check it out. It's at Katie Blevins with 2 S's. I'll put it in the description as well. But I make those for any school if you guys are interested in having like your own school spirit wall art, if that makes sense. I have one here that I'm like in the middle of sketching out. If you can see that, it's not the prettiest right now. But then I also do these, which are embroidery, which I think are also really cool, really sleek. I don't know, I just really like these. But yeah, little self promo there, but if you guys are interested, go check it out on my Instagram. I had that hanging in my dorm last year and I got so many compliments on it, so if you guys are interested, go check it out. Now actually getting into my list, number 1 is going to be, if I keep looking down, it's because I have everything on a note card. Number 1 is going to be clothes that aren't in season. This is really going to depend on where you live, what kind of climate you have, the weather. Here in Virginia, we have jokes where it's like we get all 4 seasons within 1 week, which can totally happen. If you guys are from Virginia or from somewhere around here, you guys understand that one day it'll be like 70 degrees and sunny, and then by the end of the week, it's like 32 degrees, like it's a thing. For me, when I go to school, I like to take some of my summer clothes, so like some tank tops, some shorts, stuff like that, and then I kind of transition and bring like a couple pair of jeans, some leggings, stuff like that. Even if you live somewhere that's really hot and like 90 degrees most day, because believe me, I understand. Right now, I think the heat index outside is 108. Wonderful. I would still recommend bringing a sweatshirt or something like that, maybe a pair of leggings or jeans, even if it is really hot, because it's still nice to have the option, but you don't need to bring all, 10 of your sweatshirts, every pair of jeans you own, all that kind of stuff, because you are going to come home on breaks. You can bring home your summer clothes, kind of switch them out, but you don't need to bring all your winter coats during August when you're there. So definitely pack what you need and don't overpack your clothes. Number 2 is going to be controversial. Actually, a lot of these are going to be controversial, but it's a printer. My roommate got one for us last year, and it's fine. I used it, I enjoyed it, but it's also not one of those things that's a necessity, because your libraries are gonna have printers. Yes, you're gonna have to pay, but I think it's like 30 cents or something like that, like super cheap. Don't feel like you need to have a printer in your dorm room. Yes, it's nice to have, but it's also one of those things that's just like an extra that you don't really need to have in your dorm. So I personally don't think you need a printer. Like I said, we had one in ours and it was fine, but don't feel like you need one. Number 3 is gonna be duplicate items, which makes sense, but you would be surprised on how some roommates don't communicate in what they're bringing, and people show up with like 2 fridges, 2 TVs, where it's kind of the big ticket items that like are kind of expensive, and people show up with both, and it's just kind of awkward. So definitely communicate with your roommate, even if it's just like who's bringing the Keurig, who's bringing the TV, who's bringing the refrigerator. What's the UV index right now? Sorry, I was like, you have your phone. You don't though. I can look it up on my computer, I guess. Heat index up to 107. Miserable. Anyways, my sister just came in. I forgot my train of thought. But basically, just communicate with your roommate and decide who's bringing what. That way, on move-in day, you don't show up with the same stuff. This also kind of depends on if you go random or not. I didn't go random, and so one of our first conversations we had were about what we were bringing. So if you do go random, I think you find out like a little bit later. I would still have that conversation, or try to have that conversation before you guys move in. Number 4 is gonna be pots and pans. I never thought about this when I moved into college. I never thought, oh, I need to buy all this cookware. that never crossed my mind. Some people it might, if you guys don't want to eat at the dining hall or you don't have a meal plan, maybe you'll want to cook. But what I've learned is that you actually can borrow stuff from your dorm to cook with, because you guys are gonna have a kitchen. So like for me, if I need to go like rent something, I could go rent like a pot to make noodles or something. I never did that. I never cooked in my kitchen, but that is an option for you guys. So don't feel like you need to go buy all of these pots, pans, cookware, all that kind of stuff. Number 5 is gonna be school supplies. And the reason I say this is because this isn't high school. Like really all you're gonna need is your computer for most classes. Some professors are picky. They don't want you to have computers. They want you to have a notebook. But I would wait until you've gone to all of your classes, you have all your syllabi, all of that kind of stuff. That way you know what you need. So don't feel like you need to go, when you're buying all of your dorm stuff, don't feel like you need to go to like the school supply section of Target and buy all binders, notebooks, pens, pencils, like all of that, because the likelihood is you probably won't need a lot of that kind of stuff. I filmed a video when I was back at college about how I take notes in college using my Rocketbook. So again, I'll put that up in the card as well as the description box if you guys want to go check it out. It's basically a notebook where you can like upload it to your Google Drive and it like scans in. So I'm able to like handwrite my notes but still have it on the computer. So if you guys are interested, definitely go check out that video on how I take notes. But definitely, unless it's personal preference, you could totally buy 5 notebooks, 5 binders, but you're gonna be walking around with that all day and that's just not, I don't know, that just doesn't sound enjoyable to me. So I would definitely see what your professor recommends before going out and buying a whole bunch of school supplies. Number 6 is gonna be an iron. And again, this is not something that crossed my mind when I moved into college, but people do it. I saw it happen. So don't feel like you need to go out and buy an iron and an ironing board, because you probably won't be ironing a lot of stuff because it's college. My roommate brought a handheld steamer and I was like, I'd never seen one of those before. I don't know, my family just never had one of those. If I ever had to like iron something, I would just throw it in the dryer and heat it up and get like all the wrinkles out. But she brought the handheld steamer. I used it a lot more than I thought I would. So when I came home for spring break, I bought myself one and then never used it when I went back. I use it all the time at my house because it's better than getting out my whole ironing board, ironing and all of that kind of stuff. So you basically just put it on a hanger and I don't know, you just steam it and it's really easy and they're pretty cheap. I bought mine I think for like $12 at Walmart. I don't know, there are some nicer ones that are like $30 to $50. I didn't see the point in that. So if you do like your clothes ironed, definitely recommend a handheld steamer, but not an iron or an ironing board. 7 is going to be all of your shoes. I wrote down some that I brought, and I brought running shoes, boots, Vans, and my Birks, and those are like the major shoes I wore. Another thing I brought were slippers. I don't know if that was a personal preference because like I've talked in my videos before, is we had communal bathrooms, so at night when I would want to go take off my makeup, I was not gonna walk in there barefoot. So instead of putting on like my Vans or something like that, I would wear slippers, which is my personal preference, what I like. So if you're gonna include those, I had 5 pairs of shoes. You really don't need like high heels, you really don't need like cute shoes. I don't know, you're just gonna be doing a lot of walking. If you're in a sorority or if you're doing recruitment, yeah, maybe bring a pair of heels, but you don't need to bring all 20 pairs of your shoes because the likelihood of you wearing them is not a lot and it takes up so much space. So I recommend not bringing all of your shoes. Number 8 is something I'm guilty of. I definitely did it. I don't know if I regret it or not. It was mugs. I have the biggest mug/cup collection, an obsession really. I think a lot of girls have this obsession for whatever reason. I brought so many mugs, so many cups. Really probably only used 3, but I still felt the need to bring like 15, which is ridiculous when you look back on it. So if you're like me and you have a big mug collection, maybe only bring like 3 or 4 because you're gonna have to hand wash them. Your other ones are just gonna sit there and collect dust, which is not great. So I would recommend only bringing a couple because at the end of the day, it's only taking up space for other things that you need. So definitely pick and choose wisely with your mugs. Number 9 is gonna be all of your makeup. For me, someone who's highly addicted to makeup, I don't know if you can see all of that, but that's all the makeup that I own, which is ridiculous. I literally decluttered it when I left for college a year ago, and that's still everything I have. Kind of ridiculous. But basically what I did is I took, oh, that took me forever to set up too. Now it's not even gonna be in the same spot. Okay, well you just saw it that my tripod fell over. So sorry if I'm not in the same spot. I'm trying to look in the mirror to see if I am. Can't really tell. Okay, anyways, I'm still gonna try and reach for this. I basically took my big like travel makeup bag and just put what I needed in there, and that's what I took with me to college. So I would just recommend bringing like a travel size makeup bag, and yeah, you can get like a cute makeup organizer when you're there. But as far as knowing how much to pack, really only bring like your necessities. I think I brought with me like 2 or 3 eyeshadow palettes and then like 1 concealer, 1 foundation, like all of that kind of stuff. When you bring your clothes home, you can also switch out your palettes. So if you have like summer palettes and you need like fall palettes, you can like switch them out. So that's what I would recommend, but you definitely don't need to bring that if you have that. Probably not a lot of people have that. I'm just obsessed. And finally, number 10 is going to be kitchenware. So this is like your plates, your bowls, your silverware, all of that kind of stuff. I went to Target and bought 2 plates, 2 bowls. I think that was it. I just bought 2 plates, 2 bowls. Like the Target brand, the ones that are like 80 cents. I bought those. That's what we used. I really didn't use them that much unless I had like rice or something like that. Silverware, we use plastic silverware so we didn't have to like wash it all the time. We would honestly, if we would go to like somewhere to eat, we would just kind of like press the thing a bunch and like take a handful of stuff. So that was there for you. But yeah, you don't need like 6 plates. You don't need a whole bunch of bowls. It's just gonna take up more room. And you're honestly really probably not gonna use them unless you're cooking for yourself, which if you are, props to you. I can never. But you're probably gonna have a meal plan, so you probably won't be making a lot in your dorm anyways. Highly recommend only having like 2 plates, 2 bowls, and then like plastic silverware. So that is everything for my list. I hope it helped you guys. Again, if you really need something on this list, don't think that you don't. Everybody's different. Like I said, everyone has different wants and needs. These are just my recommendations. A lot of these I've learned from last year what I did not need. So I figured I would share that with you guys so you had more room and space in your dorm. If you guys have ever lived in a dorm and you guys have some tips and tricks of what you do and don't need, comment those down below to try and help out more people. So definitely go check out the comments. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up before you go. And also don't forget to hit the subscribe button and hit the little notification bell to get notified every time I upload. I hope you guys are having an amazing week and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.